to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju ogame from the Toku and Animation News Network with
the disorganized one, Cruellica Kain.
And we are here to do another AI versus, Kaiju ogame versus AI video. What are we doing today?
So, I wanted to pick on you for a moment and actually do a quick AI versus on politics. Do you want to talk about our state politics for this year?
No.
Really? There's so many amazing things.
No.
Well, actually, I want to talk about one video on gaming.
Okay.
Because I noticed that video games are a hot button issue where nobody is technically happy. Why play video games if you're going to argue about them?
Oh yeah, people are miserable. Oh, I don't like that person that's been cast in that video game, so that game sucks. Or, that game's is a remake of an original. It sucks. Blah! Or why are they just doing a remaster instead of a remake? Blah! It's like you got Silent Hill 2. People are bitching and moaning about it being a remake instead they should just remaster it. The Soul Reaver remasters. People are bitching and moaning that they should have just remade it. We've got Ghosts of whatever the new Ghost of Tsushima sequel is. People are bitching and moaning because the lead actress has called out homophobes, racists, and stuff, and uses pronouns. So people are up in arms.
She uses they them pronouns?
She uses all pronouns.
Oh.
And so everyone is up in arms about her. It's like everybody is pissed off in the gaming industry at games for no frickin' reason. It's like, just shut the fuck up, sit down, and play the goddamn game.
So, with that in mind, I want to talk about what AI has considered forgotten video game gems. Some of these you may know. I honestly, looking at this list, I know very few of them. Like,
what do you mean by forgotten video game gems?
These are games that may not have achieved mainstream success or widespread recognition, but are beloved by those who remember them. These titles often have unique gameplay, compelling stories, or innovative mechanics that didn't receive the attention they deserve. So these are on a variety of different platforms, very widespread years, and I don't know many of them. So I'm going to start with the first game on this list, which was from the Super NES, which I will admit, I always thought the original Nintendo was the Super Nintendo. I kept on calling it Super Nintendo, and I always still to this day get corrected, even by you, and you forget about it like 10 minutes later until you have to correct me again on like, which system are you talking about, Kelly? I know I go by Cruellica Kain, but it's not like you don't know my real name. So the first game is from 1994. I was in high school, so it makes me old. Called Earthbound.
I never played it, but it's the Mother series.
Mother series?
Yeah, you know the one kid in Smash Brothers?
Yes.
The one boy he's not a Pokemon character, he's from Earthbound.
Oh. So apparently this is a quirky RPG that's more humorous with unconventional gameplay.
That's what I've heard. I've never played it.
And it didn't receive commercial success, but has since gained a strong cult following, which I'm assuming is probably why they're in Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm. If I recall, the cover to the box was orange.
Wow, orange. That's very descriptive.
It was like orange with the text Earthbound. and I think it was like Orange Planet or something. I don't know if it was supposed to be a sunset or just orange.
Now, this game, I've heard of the original, but the next game they reference that is a gem is Chrono Cross from 1999, and this is a PlayStation exclusive.
It's a sequel to Chrono Trigger.
Yes, I was actually going to say that.
I've never played either of them.
But they are both supposed to have complex narratives, rich world building, and Chrono Trigger was very well received. But
it also has a lot of timey-wimey stuff in it.
I'm surprised you never played it then.
It was before I got into RPGs. And then I just, with the re-releases, I wanted to get in and just never did.
Wow. So I'm learning how little of games you played with all the bloody video games we own. I'm happy though that you're not wanting to get into another franchise.
There's only 2 games.
Oh, I thought it was.
As far as I know, it's just Chrono Crusade, Chrono Cross and Chrono
Trigger. Chrono Cross is the one in the Forgotten Gem. Chrono Trigger is the original.
Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. Maybe there was Chrono Crusade, or was that something else? I think there's just the 2.
Now the next game, I've heard of it, but I've never actually heard anything about it. Psychonauts from 2005.
Oh, that's the game from oh shoot, David Jaffe, the guy who did God of War.
Well, I guess it was defined by Double Fine Productions.
Oh, I just know of it. I've never played it.
Now the next one is called Okami.
Yes, that one I know from Capcom, where you play as Amaterasu in wolf form.
Amaterasu?
Japanese sun god. Yes.
Oh, okay. And this is the weird thing about when we talk about gems or anything like this, because Psychonauts was 2005, Okami was 2006. It's weird to think.
Was it really 2006?
It's weird to think a game that's.
Because it came out on the Wii.
It first came out on the PS2, and then was later ported to other platforms.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was Wii, and
No.
then it was ported to PS2. Yeah, I guess it was PS2 first.
Well, and the weird thing is, it's 18 years old. How is something 18 years old a forgotten gem? Is it because there's so many different games and so many different
It's because it didn't sell well enough, even though it was critically praised.
Well, because everybody I heard who talked about it liked it. Now, another one that I've never heard of, that's a PlayStation exclusive as well, is Vagrant Story.
Oh yeah, that's the game that's set in the same universe as Final Fantasy XII.
It is?
Yeah, it takes place in Ivalice. We talked about that a few weeks ago when it was in a Watch Mojo video.
Oh, yes! Okay.
I never played that one either, but I wanted to.
Well, because 12 was... Well, 12
In fact,
is...
I feel like this list is games I've never played.
I'm noticing this trend. And I kind of feel like it's forgotten gems of things that you're like, oh yeah, I know that game. Never played it though.
That's why I'm like, oh, this list is more like games I've never played.
Now, number 6 was on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. It's an adventure game called Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh. I ordered that from Limited Run.
Okay, so it's a game that you haven't played, but you're getting.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, I did order it from Limited Run, right?
I don't know.
Shit. I think I did.
I guess you're going to have to look at your... Don't look at your orders in real time!
Fine.
Unless you're that concerned.
No.
So, this is an adventure? Like an action-adventure game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You take pictures.
Oh.
Because you have to...
Is that like that Fatal Frame game?
Not like Fatal Frame, but It's because you need to uncover that the government or whoever it is actually evil.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's like a spy game.
Sort of.
Well, the next one on the list is kind of like a spy game as well from the 60s. It's only on PC.
So I've never played it then.
Well, yes, but curious if you've heard of it, because it actually sounds like something up your alley. It's called No One Lives Forever from 2000. It's an FPS. You're not a huge fan of FPS, but let me read everything first.
Is it a James Bond game?
FPS with a unique 1960s spy theme known for its humor, engaging story, and solid gameplay mechanics. It was overshadowed by other FPS titles of its time. What other FPSs came out in 2000? Unless you're going to say Halo. Which I don't know when Halo came out.
Halo was 2001.
But it really does sound like a game. Outside of it being a Windows platform, it definitely sounds like a game you'd play. Because you like those spy thriller stuff. Now, the next one that's a forgotten gem is called Bastion. It was on the 360, PS4.
Oh, yes, I remember that. I had no interest in that one, actually.
Well, they don't give much on it except that it's an action RPG with unique art style. And it was an indie game.
Right.
Okay.
So it was a digital-only game.
Oh, and you are... Well, we're going to get into this in a later versus AI, because I actually want to discuss this with you on camera, not just have you rant. But yeah, you have a challenge being willing to purchase digital games without having physical ownership of it if it were to ever disappear. You're looking at me blankly like I made no sense.
Okay, but continue.
Okay. Oh, you're holding yourself in. Okay. Number 9 is another Windows game called Planescape. It's a role-playing game renowned for its narrative and dialogue. It was considered one of the best RPGs by enthusiasts, but not widely known. And the next one is also, I thought I said video game for systems, but apparently it considers Windows and Mac or PC in general a platform. And I know I'm probably going to offend some people here.
Okay, just get to the name.
But I think of platforms as like PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox. Last Express. It's a real-time adventure game where it's set on a train traveling from Paris to Constantinople. Funny thing is, I never knew anything about Constantinople until I first heard the song from They Might Be Giants. You know the song I'm referencing, right?
The one used in Tiny Toons?
Yes.
Then yes.
Gattaca is number 11.
Gattaca, okay.
Have you heard of this one?
You mean Galaga?
No, Gattaca. Gattaca.
That's a movie.
It says a game. It's a puzzle adventure game inspired by the film of the same name.
So it's a licensed game. Okay.
Then we have Dark Cloud.
Oh, I wanted to play that.
It's an action RPG with a blend of dungeon crawling and city building.
It's on PS2.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem?
I wanted to play that too.
Well, you were in high school when Dark Cloud came out, college when Sanity's Requiem.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness. It was a GameCube exclusive game. Because Anthony at the library used to talk about it all the time.
Do you think I remember that?
You weren't working at the library at that time.
Well, it came out in 2002. I was still working at the library. I left in 2005.
No, you didn't.
4.
Because I left in 2005.
2004. Okay, number 14 is probably the first game on this list that I know, ironically because you own it. Shadow of the Colossus.
Never played it though.
But we own it.
Just because I own it doesn't mean I played it.
Why do we own it if you've never played it?
Because it's there for when games go digital only. I have a whole backlog of video games to keep me busy for years to come.
Okay, that's a justification, I guess.
But I have to pick up the remake of it because I don't see the point in playing the original when they have a remake.
Last on this list is Killer 7.
Oh, that Suda51 game.
Which
Never played it.
I wanted to get because I like Suda51.
Man, there are so many other games they could have put on this list, though.
Well, this is AI, so that's why I wanted to get. I don't know why AI selected these, but okay.
I mean, I
What games would you consider a forgotten gem?
The Wizards and Warriors trilogy from the NES.
Okay, why?
What do you mean, why?
Was it popular?
No, they were sword and sorcery games. You played as a knight named Kyros. The first game was more you were collecting gems you had to collect a certain number of gems to get to get to the next level, and you had to defeat the wizard Malkil. The second game, Iron Sword, you had to go through all these the 4 elements. So each level was divided into 2 sections that was based on each element that you needed to use to forge the Iron Sword to beat Malkil. The third game was... but the whole trilogy is forgotten. I would love to see them remake it in modern times for... especially now that you can do full-blown stories with it. Astyanax was another good one on the Nintendo, which was a game that blended like Greek mythology and Greek creatures into... Actually, okay, so this kid gets sent to a fantasy world.
It's an isekai before isekai started? Well, isekais have already been around, but...
So this boy gets transported to this fantasy world, and they have to defeat the main villain whose name is Blackthorn. He's an evil wizard who's trying to take over the land. So he has to go through these levels and fight... basically defeat all Blackthorn's minions so he can't take over the world. And he falls in love with the fairy. So as a reward, when he gets sent back to his world, the fairy is sent back to his world as well as a normal girl.
See, I personally think Peter Pan is... Well, no. Either, depending on which came first, Alice in Wonderland or Peter Pan, either of them are the OG isekai to me. Unless we go with Chronicles of Narnia, but I don't know when those came out.
40s, I think?
Well, I think they may have all come out around the same time. Or Wizard of Oz. Actually, Wizard of Oz, because that came out before everything.
The books?
Well, I'm thinking of the movie, too, because that came out in 39. So the books would have had to come out before that.
Let's see. Other games. Super Nintendo. Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose. That was a really good game that should have been on there. For PlayStation, we've got, Sega Genesis, Vector Man.
Well, I personally think basically anything Sega Genesis.
But Fear Effect should have been on there. Haunting Ground.
Well, I was surprised not to see Haunting Ground with the way you and our friends group talk about that game.
That should have been on there. Onimusha should have technically been on there since that's a forgotten series. Dino Crisis, which was actually kind of funny because recently, because Capcom did a poll of like a survey of games you'd like to see remade or brought back, and one of the people from Capcom said, "I'm surprised at how many people want Dino Crisis back when you've got Monster Hunter." It's like those are 2 separate franchises, 2 separate styles of gameplay. How does that even correlate?
Now, is Monster Hunter created by Capcom?
Yeah.
Then, aren't they slapping in the face of their fan base by saying...
But Dino Crisis is Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Monster Hunter is Dark Souls with dinosaurs. So it's like they're not even the same genre.
Right.
Even though Monster Hunter came before Dark Souls. But still.
Moving on.
That's it. They don't relate at each other at all.
Well, obviously Soul Reaver.
Oh, the Legacy of Kain series all over the place. Alundra for the PS1 was an RPG.
Oh, okay.
Legend of Dragoon could have been on there. Xenogear.
Now, what do you think of as a more modern forgotten gem? Maybe not in the last 5 years, but maybe in the last 10 to 15 years. That came out and kind of was quickly forgotten. One thing I would think of from the PS3 era that sadly I missed a limited run on was Lollipop Chainsaw. Because of the fact that...
Well, there's a remake coming out, so...
Well, yeah.
The Dot Hack series... Well, that was early 2000s.
But
the
still...
Dot Hack series.
And I feel like for the Dot Hack series, there's so much more than just the anime. And I think even the anime is a forgotten gem in a way, too, but... Well, do you think this was an interesting discussion for video games?
I think they should call it, though, video games you've never played before.
I can always run a list in AI saying, what video games have Kaiju Okami never played to see how accurate it is?
Oh my god.
That actually would be hilarious.
But I'm titling this video games you have never played before. What was the one game that came out? Beautiful Joe, that's another one that came...
Is that the worm thingy? Oh, no,
that's Earthworm Jim.
Oh, sorry.
No, Beautiful Joe was like a tokusatsu type game where you'd have a group of people that you control and they transform into superheroes. I couldn't really get into it, but it was still a cool concept.
Well, Crash Bandicoot was a forgotten gem for a while.
Yep, and Spyro. Twisted Metal, that's a forgotten gem.
Do you think the television series can help revive the
I was
game
hoping,
franchise?
but they haven't announced anything at this point. It's been over a year. Unless they're going on the Rockstar plan to create a video game.
I am not even going to think about Rockstar because one thing that's never going to be a forgotten gem is GTA 5.
Although I like Grand Theft Auto Vice City, it took 9 months after its announcement to come out. Grand Theft Auto 6, first trailer was 9 months ago. Alright, but it was an okay list. I would say there's more on there that they could have put on there. Star Tropics from the NES could have been on there.
I think I've heard of that game.
What was the other one? Heck, the Gargoyles game could have been on there.
Well, your Simpsons Hit and Run that you never stop talking about. Every time.
We never should have got rid of it.
I didn't want to get rid of it.
I don't know why we got rid of it, but we did.
Because you were purging stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain one thing to you. We used to own this game probably about, 20 years ago?
When we moved to Colorado.
Okay, so nearly...
Because you bought it in like 2000. When you bought your PS2, you bought it.
Yeah, so about 20 years ago, we had Simpsons Hit and Run, which I loved the game. He loved the game. And then when we were purging either to move to Colorado or after we moved to Colorado, just getting rid of stuff that we weren't using, he was the one who decided we should probably get rid of it because we were getting rid of a bunch of our PS2 games. And since then, every store we have gone to that sells old video games, he has gone through them ad nauseum to look for this
Well, I look for
game.
a few games. Simpsons, Haunting Ground, Twisted Metals 1, 3, 4.
So anybody who watches this video, if you find any of these games, don't buy them for him. Take a picture and post it on his Twitter to troll him.
That's just mean. But anyway, alright. As always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking in to support us. You can support us on Patreon and Bluesky at Toku AAN Network, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami. Tell us what video games you wish you had played back then or whenever that you missed out on in the comments below. And until next time, bye.